Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode. I am JB, and of course with me is Mark Marsh.
Hey everybody.
Now today we're going to be discussing the girls that put a spell on us. It is of course the Hex Girls, and I kind of want to prerequisite this by saying there's always people that say, why make a live action remake? Why not just keep it to the animated ones? And I think the Hex Girls, more than most, are a prime contender for that argument because I feel like the way they portrayed them, the witches, ghosts, and stuff like that, is absolutely perfect to the point where I actually can't imagine a perfect combination right now that would make me go, yes, they are the Hex Girls, because I kind of just love them animated as well. But I think to discuss who could potentially play them in a live action format is a really interesting topic. So I do kind of want to go through that today. If you're watching this and you do have any ideas yourself, please comment them down below because I'd love to see that. So I want to start off with Thorne. I've got four choices, but it's kind of three choices and an honorable mention. So, Mark, I kind of feel like for this format, because we're doing all of them, let's kind of alternate. One of us will check out a name that we've thought of, and if we need to, we'll research them if we don't know who they are, and then we'll kind of discuss a bit. So, I suppose I'll go first. And I really feel like this is going to get a lot of backlash because I struggled with this. But I was thinking of Anne Hathaway. Now, Anne Hathaway is an interesting one for me because I know she can sing, and I don't know what else she sings in. It's almost embarrassing the fact that I know she sings because I remember she voiced Red Riding Hood in
Oh, I didn't
Hoodwinked.
really base much mine on singing if they could sing.
I mean, it doesn't really matter because you can always. But I know she can. I kind of factored that in a bit. I know
Oh,
she can sing because of
I
that
hope they
role,
could sing.
but also I remember one of my defining moments as a child was watching The Witch's Ghost and liking Thorne a lot. And I also remember the same was true for Anne Hathaway. So to see her as Thorne would be absolute worldy moment. But other than that, I feel like she has the sides that Thorne needs. She's got the willingness to be cunning and a little bit sneaky, as you can see from stuff like even her as Catwoman in The Dark Knight. She had that side to her. But also in a lot of things that she's in, you can also tell that she can have that good heart as well, be endearing, literally almost anti-hero vibes. And
Yeah.
so I feel like she would do well as Thorn. My thing is that she is 40 at the moment. Granted, she doesn't look 40, but again, it could affect things like if you're a 40-year-old Thorn, you might need a 40-year-old Dusk Luna. Maybe that gets a bit dicey on. Maybe people don't bring the names in, like it doesn't bring in the new audience.
But yeah, she's aged a lot in the last 23 years. Still looks young. Like I'd probably say I would have thought she was in her 30s, like early 30s. I didn't really think she would be 40,
Mm.
but still a good transformation.
Yeah, and I think she's in good stuff. My thing is now is that I know who I really like, and I know who I'd like for these roles, but I also know that I'm hilariously out of touch with like what's trending nowadays. So I've got one that I have thought of for that aspect, but I kind of leave that a little bit later. Mark, who was the kind of first person that was on your mind?
I went with Ruby Rose for
Ruby
four.
Rose. I'm gonna research. Just
She played Batwoman, and she was in Meg
that
as
one.
one of the geeky hackers.
Ruby Rose. So let's see. Oh, ooh. You know what?
Because she can definitely pull off that rock band style look, and she has
Here's the
tattoos, so
mad
she definitely
thing.
fits the role perfectly. She's 37. I didn't think she was 37.
You may have cast this relatively perfectly, you know. Now, I don't know anything about how she acts or like any of that. But when I first looked at that first picture that came up, I don't know if I'm gonna have to edit that in. But like when I first saw that, I was like, holy crap, that looks like Jennifer Hale. So she looks, I don't know if I'm the only one that sees this. Maybe I'll even do a side by side. But in her face, she looks exactly very similar to the voice actor for Thorn. So that's crazy.
That's why I thought she'd be perfect with my first pick.
That's nuts. Oh, and if they were to do a version of the Witch's Ghost, instead of having it be the dad, you could almost cast Jennifer Hale as the mom.
Yeah.
Stop it. I love that, you know. I can just tell this is going to be another video where I take an L, but I love that a lot. So she's been in the Meg. Oh, this Batwoman. Oh, yeah. Oh, and Pitch Perfect 3. Who was she in Pitch Perfect 3? Let's see, Pitch. Because I was roped into watching all of those recently. Let's see who she is.
And
Does
she
it
was
even
also in
say?
and she was also in Orange is the New Black.
Oh, she's dressed a bit like Thorne in Pitch Perfect. Perfect. Huh, yeah, I like that a lot. So, this is kind of connected because, like I say, I was roped into it. But I was thinking at first, Anna Kendrick, you'd have to change her hair a bit. But again, there's the singing aspect. And one thing I liked about Anna Kendrick in Pitch Perfect is that she would always do this kind of like smoky eye effect. Like, I don't know what it's called. I'm not like a cosmetologist or whatever, but it reminded me so much of that kind of aesthetic of being mysterious as well, which I kind of feel like you'd need for Thorne. Also, I feel like she's popular enough even now for people to kind of think, oh my gosh, she's in this. I'm gonna want to see it. You know, she's enough of a name to even carry a potentially a Hex Girls movie. Like, even if they were just gonna do like a live action Hex Girls movie, I feel like she's enough of a name to carry that. And again, I think I show my age here because I'm really I don't this isn't ageism, I'm just maybe being ageist against myself. I think what we need potentially is people around that maybe even 18 to 22 mark. But obviously, when I was, 15, 16, 17, the age that you want to attract to this type of movie, that's how old they would have been. So I don't know
Yeah.
if I'm just too late, but I didn't mind Anna Kendrick as my pick.
See, I went my second pick. I went with Vanessa Hudgens, uh, from
Yeah,
High
you
School
know what?
Musical.
That was my third.
that
So I like that.
was my second pick.
Because Vanessa Hudgens is really great. And I know what people may be thinking that she's not really done much recently, but she's still got the talent. Like, I'm not sure if you've seen this, but there's a movie called Tick Tick Boom that had Andrew Garfield in. It was released not too long ago, and she was in that, and she's still got everything down to the singing, the looks. Like, I think she would be perfect. Like, if she was announced as Thorne tomorrow, I'd pre-book tickets.
Absolutely.
No,
She's a good pick though.
very good. I can't believe that and that's the
It's
first
like the
time we've
two
actually got one in common.
one in common.
So that must say so. I'd love that, yeah. I've got a wild card now, and this is perhaps appealing to the younger audience, the younger generation. So I'm not sure how successful this is gonna be. It's just something I thought of. I was thinking Billie Eilish. I don't know if she can act. I don't know what her acting history is, but I know she's crazy popular right now, doing a lot of the themes for James Bond. She did a huge hit with like the main song of Barbie, I think. So she's really up there in terms of what's trending, what people like. And my wild card was either her or Dua Lipa, but I was thinking Billie Eilish seemed more like she can embody that Wiccan eco goth type of look. So Billie Eilish is a name that I do want to throw out there because again, that's maybe you call it stunt casting, maybe it's just casting for popularity, but I wouldn't hate it if they just gave her that role to bring in people for the money. I don't know if she can
Yeah.
act or not, but yeah. Do you have any more cast on Thorn?
Okay, so technically I would say four because I originally put down my first one as Brittany Mason, who played Thorne in the um, Mystery Incorporated series. But I didn't know whether that'd be cheating or not because it's already out there as a candidate.
I've forgotten what she looks like. Whitney Mason. There isn't any photos of her, I don't think. Huh. Does she have Instagram? Actually, you know what? Dade's probably following her, right? Brittany Mason. Huh, he isn't. I don't know what to do. Oh no,
I'll
there she
type in.
is. Oh, I think her Instagram's on private. Huh. But that's okay. I guess
Yeah,
that
so
isn't cheating because
I guess I got like
yeah.
one image of her on Google. So I've been Mystery Incorporated, Thorne. Probably the
Brittany.
best one we can get of her, but I quite liked her performance in that. I think all the Hex Girls in that were pitched perfectly.
I do remember liking them when they came out on Mystery Incorporated. So I do think that that is a good show. I just wish that her images were more readily available. I don't know what's happened there. I don't know if like she got fired, that's why no one's following her and it's private account. I'm not too sure, but yeah, it's a decent pick, decent
Yeah,
pick.
so I went with that because it was really hard to try and think of. And then I remembered I was watching it again recently, thinking, "Oh yeah, I forgot there's three X girls already. It makes it a lot easier for me."
So yeah, did you have any more for Thorn or do you want to move on to Dusk?
No, those are the only ones that I've
Okay.
managed to get together.
So, Dusk, who is your first pick for Dusk? Because I've got three. I didn't really think about a wild card this time in terms
Uh,
of like modern audiences, but I'm sure I could.
yeah, so Dusk is the blonde one.
Yeah.
So the first one I went with is Sabrina Carpenter.
Hmm.
I just feel like if she has done some singing, she's an American singer, but I feel like she could pull off that character, especially with the what's called piggy tails.
Yeah.
Is that what we call her?
Or maybe they're like space buns or something. I don't know. I don't know much about her, but they're kind of like
Because
yeah.
most of the shows that movies you do, it involves singing. So she's already well known in that aspect, and she's only 24.
I know she does. I think maybe she's mostly known for singing because I remember, God, I think it was Smash went to a concert a couple of months ago,
Yeah, because she's
and
doing
I looked and I was
events.
like, hey yo, like I want to go to one of these.
Yeah, she's got
So
loads of
yeah,
events this year.
I would be up for that again. I don't know about how she acts, but I know how she looks. I know that she can sing, so I'm definitely down for that as well. Now, the one that I picked was a bit similar to that. I don't remember if I ever saw her sing, but I'm assuming so. But Dove Cameron, if you know who that is. A lot of people know her from like mainstream stuff that she's known for, but I know her as one of the villains from Agents of Shield.
Oh,
That was kind of where
oh
I got
wait.
introduced to her from.
Oh, she played Agent Shield.
It was like I forget if it's series 6 or 7, but there's like a daughter that gets raised, and I guess spoiler alert, within Hydra, and she gets to be like one of these people that dresses up and chucks like chopping discs at people.
Oh, okay. That's a good pick, actually.
I just think that she has that vibe of her where she isn't like a Thorn where you can just see it being a bit. I don't want to use the word sultry, but I'm gonna have to. But she almost seems to have that more of a rough edge about her, in a good way, which I think Dusk does need to have because she's obviously the one that's a bit more out there. Like she's always like got that playful dynamic with the gang, especially Shaggy and Scooby, where she's trying to maybe scare them a bit more than the others would to be a bit fun. Like she needs to have that kind of fun side to her as well. And I feel like Dove Cameron, it kind of is a bit her. Maybe you can argue Dove Cameron's a bit too sane looking, if you could argue that, because maybe Dusk needs to be a bit crazier. But
Yeah.
I think that's why she's maybe my number third pick for that. I think my other two go a bit crazier.
Yeah, I was looking at my next pick and I didn't realize the age, but I was like, that she looks way too young. I was like, there's no fucking way she's 50. Jesus Christ.
50.
Yeah, I literally went with Lee Bingbing, uh, a famous Chinese actress. There's loads of films. Was
Wait,
it
Lee
Meg?
Bing Bing or Fan Bing Bing? Because I know Fan Bing
Lee,
Bing. Lee Bing
Li.
Bing. L.I. Oh,
Yeah, she did Forbidden Kingdom, The Message, Transformers, Age of Extinction, Resident
hmm.
Evil. She's also in Meg. And I just found out recently that she's 50. I'm thinking, wasn't you looking at the age? I would still probably cast her because if
There's
I was
no
fooled,
way
I
she's
yeah,
50.
she's 50. I'm thinking there's no way she could be 50. She managed to fool me.
If I like, if I say anything, like, yeah,
Nah,
she doesn't look 50.
she's lying about her age.
Yeah,
There is
something's
no.
gone on or something, some corruption, or maybe she's like from Krypton or something. There's been something dodgy happening
I
there.
was looking at it, I was like, yeah, she's young enough to be cast as one of them. So I put her down. And just a second when because you
Does she have
mentioned
a
age
daughter?
earlier, and I was like, yeah, she's got a daughter. I was like, she's 50. Well, if I was fooled, the audience is gonna be fooled.
Yeah, like I could be like in school. She could walk in as the new student, and I'd just go, "Oh yeah, okay, hi." Like I wouldn't even like she looks younger than me, and I'm supposedly only what 24. That's like she's like double my age, more than double my age, and it's good. This is why I like doing castings with you though, because I feel like I have to teeter the line between like not getting in trouble and like it's just I can't 50, so
I don't look at the age of them. I just
she
look
was
at how they would look in
born
previous movies they've done.
1973. Is that right? 73?
But I'm always like, I always forget how old a film can be. I could search for someone that's been in a film that came out in 2001. I'm thinking they're perfect. And then when it comes to actually saying, I'm thinking they have aged a bit, but last bit of makeup, CGI, boom, there you go, back at it.
Possible. Possible. So I'm gonna lean into the crazy now. I thought I went with someone a bit older, but apparently not. We've got Miley Cyrus as my second pick because I feel like she's a bit crazy. And she's also done a bit of acting work that's a bit more recent. If granted, I haven't seen all of it. My most recent one was probably when she got cast as one of the other Guardians of the Galaxies in the second one. But then I think Tara Strong had to take over that role in the third Guardians movie. But it's because I know she can sing. I know she's got that wild side now. Again, though, I'm thinking about stuff like Wrecking Ball, which I dread to think how long ago that was now. But that's kind of why I picked her. She isn't my first choice because I almost feel like, without any offense to Miley Cyrus, my first choice is all of her qualities, but better, both in terms of acting and we'll leave singing. Maybe that's debatable. But I did want to throw Miley Cyrus in there because, again, people that are in that generation, nostalgic for the Hex Girls, obviously,
Yeah,
but also the amount of nostalgia for Hannah Montana and stuff like that that's out there is crazy as well. Like, I thought Hannah Montana would be some relic that people like me would remember or something from childhood. and there'd be like a small cult following for it. But they did recently Hannah Montana Funko Pops, and they literally sold out in like a day. So
Fucking
hella
hell.
people still like Hannah Montana. So
It's
that
still
was a name
popular.
I wanted to throw in there. How
Very
about you,
popular.
Mark?
Oh, my last one. Okay, the last one is I'm gonna go with Chloe Bennett
Mm.
from Agent of Shield, who plays Sky.
You see, we both had a little Agent of Shield
Yeah,
moment. I like that.
I was like, as my last pick, I thought, you know what? I was watching recently the first scene. I'm thinking, yeah, she can definitely, you know, play the drums. It's like I don't know about the singing though, because I haven't watched anything of her that has singing. I'm just looking at it now. It's like she's in the Powerpuff Girls.
The only other thing I know her from
Oh
is
my
just
god, she was
that
Blossom.
she dated Logan Paul at some
I
point.
knew her voice sounded so weird, but I was watching.
Chloe Bennett.
She's Blossom.
Did that ever release or was that the pilot? Why is she? Oh, does she have a YouTube original?
Oh my
Oh,
god,
oh. I
that's
didn't
blew
know
my
her birth
mind.
name was Chloe Wang. So in the film Abominable. Oh, I
That's
miss Agents of Shield.
so weird
Wait,
that she
holy.
actually.
Wait, was she actually the Blossom voice?
Yeah, she was actually the Blossom voice of the Powerpuff Girls
You
from
know,
the '98
that
series.
can't be real.
She was
No
Blossom for six
way.
seasons. I know Buttercup sounds like Phil and Lil from the
Oh
Rugrats.
yeah, so she was a recast Blossom after. That's wild to me actually. That because yeah, again, these things make sense. I was thinking, oh yeah, of course, E.G. Daily, Tara Strong, that makes sense. But then Chloe Bennett, she must have done a good job though, right?
Must do 6 seasons.
I love
I
that,
know
you know.
she does a lot of mixture of like voice acting and series and movies, but nothing about any singing.
Mm,
I'm sure it's fine.
yeah, we can always add stuff like
Yeah.
that in. So my last choice is Emma Stone, who I think might have shocked some people. But what I'm thinking about for that edge that I was thinking that Dusk would have actually came from her role from the Cruella movie, which I don't think a lot of people saw, but just that rebellious streak and the music that went along with that movie and how she could so easily go between that duality of innocent person and almost malevolent and playful character, I think was absolutely amazing. You give her a natural hair and put her in that setting where she's that drummer, I think she'll thrive in it. I think for someone like her, that you'll have to maybe think about doing a Hex Girls movie because again, maybe it'll be a bit of a waste just to get her in there for like a 10-minute cameo, 5-minute
Yeah.
cameo. But yeah, Emma Stone, and she's only 34. Again, maybe you want to get someone a bit
I like how we
younger.
mostly picked them where they're above 30. We haven't really picked anyone that's
I
considered young.
reckon. I mean, that is why I threw Billie Eilish into that first category, just because I'm like, I
I think I
need
got
to.
the winning on the oldest.
Hmm, I think that's. I mean, looks wise, probably not. But see, let's see who we can think. So let's think blonde person trending today that would get the viewers in. I'm gonna see how old Taylor Swift is because I know she's hella popular right now. She's 33, so even then, I almost need to get out of my mind and stop thinking about who I liked as a kid and who was popular when I was growing up. And let's see who's trending now. Sydney Sweeney. How old is she? Does she sing?
I'm gonna say 35.
She's 25.
Oh, she's 25. Okay.
That's ideal, right? For the kids.
If she
For the
watches thinking
kids.
cheeky sod.
Oh, what about that one that was in the awful show? Lily Rose Depp. How old is she? She is 24. So there. For the kids, those are my modern day picks. Maybe how old's Peyton List? Because for all I was a fan of Peyton List when I was a kid. I know she was pretty much my age. So yeah, she's 25 now. You know what? She actually does have the looks for it, you know. Yeah. So those are my three modern picks for the kids. Do you have any modern picks for the kids, Mark, or should we move on to
We're
Luna?
gonna move on. I'm very old. All mine are gonna be over 30 if I have to pick.
Okay.
I
So
mostly listen to old music. I
Luna,
yeah.
Luna, the third Hex Girl. Last but not least, my first pick was Halle Bailey, who recently played the Little Mermaid in the live action movie. Just because I'm thinking we have a situation now where we've
What's the
got
name?
someone, Halle Bailey, not Halle Berry Bailey, it's Little Mermaid. Because I always feel
Oh
like for all the live action remakes, people don't like them as much as the animation. They always leave the actors in the void somewhere, even when they do a good job. So newcomers, relatively like Naomi Scott, Mina Masood from Aladdin, kind of just disappeared for a little bit. And Halle Bailey, for all I think she did a decent job in that movie, I kind of see her disappearing a bit. But I feel like she has got some untapped potential with that acting aesthetic and also her singing voice as well. For her to be that Luna in the Hex Girls, I think would be a good, nice, natural step. And again, I think she's got a lot of stands now, and that's almost one because she's only 23. That's almost a mixture between, what the kids are doing nowadays, what young people are consuming, and also what I'd personally like to see. So
yeah.
yeah,
Well, I went with Zoe Diach.
Zoe. How do you spell her surname?
Deutch. Obviously had to dye
Yeah.
her hair, but she's 28, has a
Oh,
big following as well.
she looks a bit like that Jodie.
And she was on
Oh
Vampire
damn!
Academy, so she can definitely pull off the rock band goth vibe.
Wait, her mum's Leah Thompson. I didn't know Leah Thompson had a kid, and the kid was that. Yeah, oh, wait a minute. She was the crazy woman from Zombieland, the second one, huh?
Yeah,
Oh, that is interesting.
I don't think she gets killed off in Zombieland.
No, see, I'd be tempted to pick her for Dusk almost because of that kind of wacky zany side. What is this photo though? I want to find out what this is, but I like that. I think Matthew Lillard follows her. Maybe it's already in the works. Who knows? So yeah, my next pick is Laura Harrier, who was actually a bit older than I thought, but mainly because last I saw of her was in Spider-Man Homecoming, which was like obviously they're a bit older anyway than high school kids, but it's set in high school, so I'm kind of like thinking that they're young anyway. But she's 33, not too sure if she can sing, but I feel like she's one of the most underrated people that came out of the MCU and then just I didn't really see again. I think that she did
Yeah,
a good job in that MCU role. And again, I think that she's got that potential to be a star. It's just that it wasn't utilized at the time. But I think she's got a good charisma. And I think, really, for all you can look at a character like Luna and Dusk and just see them as the backup for Thorne, I think when that's done right, when that you can hit that dynamic and you get good supporting characters as well that can hold their own if they ever need to do a scene separately, I think Laura Harrier can do it in the same way that at the end of that Spider-Man movie, she perhaps had to carry a little bit more by herself that I wanted to see expanded upon, but they didn't really do that at the time. So yeah, that's my second pick.
Really good pick. My second one, I'm gonna really struggle pronouncing this name, so I do apologize. I'm gonna give it my best all. Oh God, Jab. Oh, damn, my dyslexic. Javacia Leslie. I'm going to spell her first name JAVICIA. I can think of Leslie. I
Oh,
think I'll just call her Ms. Leslie because I'll just struggle with her first name.
depending on how she acts, she looks perfect.
She was in Double Life, which was still okay. Had very low feedback on Rotten Tomato and the movie Insider, but I thought it was an all right movie.
Oh,
I thought
she's
I thought
Batwoman.
she was in. Yeah, I think she plays the new Batwoman in the second season.
Wait, is
But I think
IMDb out of 10 stars or 5?
IMD is at a 10.
Oh wow, that's
So Double
bad.
Life they gave it a 5.4, and Rotten Tomato gave it 13%. And with Double Life, I'm like, great, how dare you?
No, I like that.
Double Life was not that bad.
I need to do some more research into what she's like acting like and stuff like that. But just based on like the appearance of her, I think she'd be perfect for that role, you know. And obviously, again, like you said, you can probably do the hair to be a bit more Luna like, but you know, they'll do that anyway. Yeah, I like that. My final pick, and I don't think I can do any for the kids this time, like, but my last one is Tati Gabrielle, who I think I've seen floating around with other people's fan cast about her, but I actually kind of feel like it works. Now, I know her from, I think it's the third or fourth season of You, which I don't know if you've seen that one. That's about that guy that goes around stalking people, but she was there in that. And I'll be honest, I thought she was a little bit bland in that season until the most recent series. And then she kind of just brought a whole new life into that character that made me really respect her as a performer. And even some of those dramatic scenes that she's, you know, given to do, I think she elevated that so much to the point where I'm either thinking, with the right material, the right writing, she can flourish, or maybe she's just getting better. So I think it's the time to do it. I can almost see her doing, you know, almost propelling career wise in the next
Yeah,
couple of years to the point where she's almost a get if you get her early and then she'll get more popular, which can be a good or bad thing because, like, Jennifer Lawrence was got early by the X-Men people and then she kind of felt like she was too good for the role. Maybe you'll get that. But yeah, Tati Gabrielle, 27 years old, is my last choice.
see, I left with two final ones, and I couldn't
No,
decide between the two. So the first one, I'm going to say both of them. So the first one, I went with Zendaya from Homecoming. I thought she could be perfect as, one of the backup singers. But then I was thinking Tierra Scoveby, which was a Canadian actress, um, because she's 28
Hmm.
and Zendaya's 26. So it's just like they're in that roughly that right age group, and I really couldn't decide between the two.
Zendaya would get people there.
Yeah, Zendaya would hit the following of the people because she's well known, has like 184 million followers. Whereas,
Tiara looks a bit like Margot
whereas the
Robbie.
the Sierra one is just like only has under 1 million followers. So if I would probably say the popularity contest, Zendaya for the win, but I still would think both of them would be a good selection. But I feel like Zendaya would probably take the win.
I like
Give
that.
you
Tiara does look a bit like Margot Robbie, which is interesting. Oh,
Because
Yeah.
if you watch the horror movie, like I class as a thriller, Summer of 884, Tiara was in that.
You know what? I do like that a lot. I like that. I think we've got some good picks. Oh, I'm trying to think about one for the kids now, but I actually actively can't. So I do apologize for that. And again, bit of a different fan cast this time, but it's one that I think has been quite a bit of fun. But yeah, I guess to wrap up this section, Mark, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me over on my Twitter account at iGosLuigi, where I'll be posting all updates regarding my channel. And you can also follow my Instagram page at Mark Marsh 94 for all the latest updates. And head over to my YouTube channel at Mark Marsh.
That is perfect. I'll leave all that in the description down below. Thank you so much to everyone for watching, and make sure to let us know your picks for live action Hex Girls in the comment section. If you do want to see more, then please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.